the morning you stop doubting yourself. Good morning. Before the world asks anything of you, before the emails, the conversations, the expectations, and the endless noise, there is a quiet moment that belongs only to you. Most people rush through it without noticing. They wake up already carrying yesterday's worries, yesterday's mistakes, and yesterday's opinions. It's as if they put on an invisible backpack before their feet even touch the floor. Today, I'd like to invite you to set that backpack down. Just for a little while, take a slow breath. Listen to the silence around you. There is something remarkable about the morning. Every sunrise arrives without asking whether yesterday was successful. The sun doesn't hesitate because clouds filled the sky the day before. It rises because rising is simply what it was created to do. Perhaps there is something in that lesson for us. Recognize when internal whispers like, "Maybe you're not ready," arise, and include specific strategies such as journaling or affirmations to challenge and reframe these doubts, empowering you to build your confidence. It rarely shouts. Instead, it whispers. Maybe you're not ready. Someone else could do this better. What if you fail? Is a common fear. But remember, failure is simply a stepping stone, like learning to walk after many falls, and not a reflection of your worth or potential to grow. What if everyone realizes you're not as capable as they think? The strange thing is that many of us believe those whispers without ever questioning where they came from. Imagine meeting someone who followed you everywhere. Every time you had an idea, they would say, "Are you sure?" Every time an opportunity appeared, you might embarrass yourself. Every time you dreamed of something meaningful, people like you don't achieve things like that. Eventually, you would stop listening to that person. Yet somehow, when those same words come from inside our own minds, we treat them like absolute truth. But a thought is not a fact. A fear is not a prophecy. And uncertainty is not proof that you are incapable. Many years ago, a sculptor was asked how he created such breathtaking statues from ordinary blocks of stone. He smiled and said, "The statue was already inside. I removed everything that didn't belong." I have always loved that image. Perhaps confidence isn't something we build. Perhaps confidence isn't something we build overnight. Instead, it is something we uncover gradually, filling you with hope that growth is always possible. Maybe beneath every layer of comparison, every disappointment, every criticism, every impossible expectation, there has always been a capable, resilient, and deeply worthy person quietly waiting to be seen. Not a perfect person. Perfection has never changed a life, but a real one. Someone willing to learn, someone willing to grow, someone willing to continue even without guarantees. Think about the strongest tree you've ever seen. From a distance, it appears effortless, steady, rooted, unshaken. But what you don't see are the years it spent bending with storms, the branches that broke, the seasons when nothing seemed to grow, the roots stretching deeper into the unseen earth. Strength rarely announces itself while it is being built. Neither does confidence. Confidence grows quietly. It grows every time you keep a promise to yourself. Every time you choose courage over comfort. Every time you continue after disappointment instead of allowing disappointment to define you. So if this morning you feel uncertain, remember that taking even a tiny step like sending a message or making a plan can be a courageous act, showing you're moving forward despite doubts. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're simply growing in ways that cannot yet be measured. And sometimes, the most important growth happens underground, where no one else can see it, encouraging patience and self-compassion as you journey forward. There is something I want you to remember this morning. You were not born doubting yourself. Think about a young child learning to walk. They don't take one step, stumble, and then decide, I guess walking just isn't for me. They fall, they laugh, they stand again. And somehow, without ever questioning whether they belong on their own 2 feet, they keep going. Confidence is our first language. Doubt is something we learn. Over the years, life quietly teaches us to question ourselves. Sometimes it begins with a single careless comment that lingers longer than anyone intended. Sometimes it grows from comparing our lives to people whose struggles we never see. Sometimes it comes from trying so hard to avoid failure that we stop allowing ourselves to begin. Little by little, we collect these moments like stones in our pockets. Each one feels small on its own. But after enough years, we wonder why moving forward feels so heavy. The truth is, many people are carrying stories that no longer belong to them. Perhaps someone once told you that you weren't talented enough. Maybe you started believing success belonged to people who were smarter, luckier, or more connected than you. Or maybe life didn't unfold the way you imagined. And somewhere along the journey, disappointment quietly introduced itself as your identity. But disappointment is an experience. It is not who you are. Failure is an event. It is not a description of your future. Imagine standing in front of a mirror that has been covered with dust for years. At first, you might think the reflection itself is unclear. But the problem was never the mirror. It was only what had settled upon it. Our minds can become like that mirror. Fear settles. Comparison settles. Old criticism settles. Past mistakes settle. And after enough time, we mistake the dust for the truth. Yet beneath it all, your reflection has never changed. Your worth has never depended on how confident you felt on a difficult day. The sky does not stop being blue simply because clouds pass overhead. In the same way, your potential does not disappear because doubt happens to visit. And it will visit. Even the people you admire experience moments of uncertainty. The difference is not that they never hear the voice of doubt. The difference is that they stop allowing it to make their decisions. There is a quiet kind of courage that often goes unnoticed. It is the courage to apply for the opportunity before feeling completely ready, to begin the project while still learning, to introduce yourself before you're certain you'll be accepted, to speak with kindness even after you've been misunderstood, to believe that one difficult chapter does not determine the entire story. Real courage rarely feels dramatic. Most days, it looks remarkably ordinary. It looks like getting out of bed when yesterday was hard. It looks like trying again after hearing no. It looks like choosing hope when fear offers 100 convincing reasons to stay still. Perhaps that is why the strongest people often seem so peaceful. They are no longer trying to eliminate uncertainty. They have learned to walk alongside it. So, as this morning unfolds, I want to offer you a gentle thought. You do not need to become fearless before you begin. You do not need every answer before taking the next step. And you certainly do not need permission to believe in the person you are becoming. Sometimes the most powerful decision you'll make all day is a quiet one. The decision to stop arguing with your own potential, to stop measuring yourself against someone else's timeline, to stop asking whether you deserve the life you dream about, and instead take one honest step toward it. Because every meaningful journey begins in the same way, not with certainty, but with a single step taken despite uncertainty. There is a question I hope you will carry with you today. What if the life you've been waiting for isn't waiting for a more talented version of you? What if it's simply waiting for the version of you who decides to begin? We often imagine confidence as a destination. We tell ourselves, once I feel confident, I'll apply for that job. Once I believe in myself, I'll start the business. Once I'm ready, I'll speak up. But life has a gentle way of teaching the opposite. Confidence is almost never the beginning of the journey. It is the reward for continuing the journey. Think about the first time you learned something new. Driving a car. Speaking a different language. playing an instrument. At the beginning, every movement felt awkward. Every mistake felt enormous. You didn't wake up one morning magically knowing what to do. You learned because you kept showing up. One imperfect attempt became another, then another, until one day, what once seemed impossible became something you could do almost without thinking. Life changes in much the same way. Not through one extraordinary decision, but through hundreds of ordinary ones. A single conversation, one brave email, one morning walk, one honest apology, one page written, one healthy choice, one promise kept. These moments may appear too small to matter, yet they are quietly shaping the person you are becoming. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast forest just before sunrise. The path ahead disappears into the trees. You cannot see where it ends. You cannot even see every turn. If you refused to take the first step until the entire path became visible, you would remain exactly where you are. But something remarkable happens once you begin walking. With every step forward, the next few feet reveal themselves. The path was never meant to be seen all at once. It was meant to be discovered. Perhaps life works that way too. We spend so much energy searching for certainty that we overlook the quiet invitation hidden in today's small opportunities. The next step, not the whole staircase, just the next step. And maybe that is enough. There is an old saying that reminds us, the oak tree grows slowly, but it grows strong. No one stands beside an oak each morning expecting to see dramatic change. Yet year after year, while almost no one is watching, its roots reach deeper. Its trunk becomes stronger. Its branches stretch farther toward the sky. Growth is often invisible while it is happening. The same is true for you. There are mornings when you may feel as though nothing is changing, as though your efforts are disappearing into silence, as though the small things you do each day could never amount to anything meaningful. But they are. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, every time you replace self-criticism with patience, every time you keep moving instead of giving up, you are strengthening roots that no storm can easily shake. One day, someone may look at your life and call you lucky. They will see the tree. They will admire its height. They will praise its strength. But they will never fully see the countless mornings when you quietly chose to keep growing beneath the surface. And perhaps that is the greatest secret of all. The most extraordinary lives are rarely built through extraordinary moments. They are built through ordinary mornings, repeated with extraordinary faith. So today, don't ask yourself whether you're already enough to reach the summit. Ask yourself something far more powerful. Can I take one more step? Because the mountain is never conquered in a single leap. It is conquered by the person who keeps walking, even when the summit is still hidden behind the morning mist. As our time together comes to an end, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Years from now, you probably won't remember every ordinary morning. They will blend like pages in a well-loved book. But now and then, there comes a morning that quietly changes everything. Not because something extraordinary happened around you, but because something shifted within you. Perhaps today can be one of those mornings. Not because you've solved every problem, not because every fear has disappeared, but because you've made a simple decision. The decision to stop letting doubt speak louder than hope. You know, the world has a habit of celebrating visible victories. The promotion, the new home, the finished marathon, the successful business. But the victories that shape a life usually happen long before anyone notices. The morning you choose to believe in yourself after months of uncertainty. The moment you raise your hand when your voice is trembling. The day you begin again after thinking it was too late. The quiet promise you make to yourself, and this time you keep it. These are the moments that change a life. Not all at once, but little by little. Like sunlight slowly filling a dark room, it never rushes. It never forces its way in. It simply arrives. Perhaps confidence grows the same way, not as a sudden burst of certainty, but as gentle light returning after a long night. So, if you wake up tomorrow and doubt visits you again, don't be surprised. Don't be discouraged. And above all, don't mistake its presence for the truth. Smile at it if you can. Thank it for trying to protect you. Then, with quiet kindness, continue anyway. Because courage is not the absence of doubt. It is the decision that doubt will no longer be the author of your story. Imagine meeting yourself 5 years from today. Not the version shaped by fear, but the version shaped by every small act of courage you chose, beginning with this morning. What would that person say to you? I don't think they would talk about money first, or achievements, or titles. I think they would smile, place a hand on your shoulder, and say, "Thank you for not giving up on us." Those words are more powerful than they first appear, because every future you dream of is built by the choices you make today. Not the dramatic choices, the quiet ones. Choosing to try, choosing to learn, choosing to forgive yourself, choosing to begin again, and choosing day after day to believe that who you are becoming matters more than who you used to be. So, before you step into the rest of your day, take one slow, deep breath. Lift your head. Relax your shoulders. Look toward the morning light, wherever it finds you. Let it remind you that every sunrise tells the same beautiful story. Yesterday has ended. Today has arrived. And with it comes another chance. Another chance to grow. Another chance to love. Another chance to learn. Another chance to become a little more of the person you were always capable of being. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to be fearless. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to take the next step, and then another. Trust that those small, faithful steps will carry you farther than doubt ever could. Thank you for sharing this quiet morning with me. Wherever this day takes you, walk into it with kindness toward yourself, hope in your heart, and the quiet confidence that you already possess everything you need to begin. Keep moving toward the light.